to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George.
Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists. Today, our excitement for the final reckoning continues to mount with Mission Impossible Fallout, the sixth film in the franchise. We've got this one was released on July 27th, 2018, written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie. How are we feeling? I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George.
Oh, what up, what up? It is always a pleasure to be here, and yeah, we've landed. We've arrived at what I feel like is the peak of the mountain. It could go higher for MI7. I don't know, but man, it feels everything came together. They figured everything out up to this point, and I think they just figured out how to kind of make the perfect action movie. And yeah, so I did not expect to get here. I thought that MI7 would have been that one if I had to get before coming into the project. I thought it would just be, well, they could probably only get better and better as the stunts might get crazier. But no, I feel this one felt different from the jump. Like out of the opening was the best opening.
Yeah, the first 45 seconds is immediately the most gripping first 45 seconds of a movie I've watched, and then to immediately follow it with a really, really intense opening where they lose 3 plutonium bombs, or 3 plutonium cores for bombs. Yeah, big one. And then to follow it up with the stunt where they make you think that the Vatican, Mecca, and Jerusalem have been nuclear attacked. Dude, incredible sequence. Incredible sequences.
My jaw was, when they were like, yep, the bombs went off, I was like, what? I was just like, what? I don't know, I couldn't react, and I was with it. I mean, they got me, you know. I was boxed up in those 4 walls too, just like, whatever. Yeah, I don't know, that wasn't even really the guy that wrote the manifesto, because it turned out to actually be, Cavill, so like,
no,
I don't know.
He also, he never claimed to write it, he was just a staunch. He was a staunch believer in it. That Lark wrote it. He was recruited to build the bombs. So like he just really believed in what Lark was saying. Yeah.
Isn't he like, who is actually Lark? Like, because like the one guy that they actually killed, the bathroom fight guy, he's not actually Lark at all, ever.
No,
right? Like, he's
Lark is Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I don't know. I thought I heard a line of him later on talking to who he thought was Lane, but actually was Benji. And then he was like, yeah, whenever I wrote that or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he referred to it and said that he wrote it.
Yeah, Lark did. Which was Henry Cavill.
Oh, I guess that's, maybe I said someone else at first.
Oh,
but that's who I meant. I guess that's who
I thought we were talking about Delbrook, the scientist guy.
Yeah, no. I guess that's right. That's the guy who claimed to have wrote it, I guess, at the beginning, who's trapped in the 4 walls. Yeah, no, I guess I was just jumping the gun. Maybe my brain jumped.
Gotcha.
And I just didn't get it out of my mouth. But
yeah,
okay,
we're all good. Yeah, I thought we were talking about someone else. Yes, Henry Cavill's Lark did write the manifesto and is Lark the whole time. And sorry, we must have been on different pages there. But
that opening though, back whenever I don't know, that wasn't even in the picture, and it was just this guy. It was, the setup was so like, I didn't know it was fake yet. And even whenever he was like, I thought it was fully real. I thought they were legitimately reading his manifesto. And like, I'm thinking all of this is actually playing out. And the thing I love about Mission Impossible is it's always these like moral dilemmas that are just put on showcase. Like, it is always just like, hey, what would humans do in this hypothetical situation of, if nukes already went off? And I don't know. It's like, there's no other way to get this other than these movies. And I feel like there's just so many of them throughout the entire thing. And yeah, this one was just cool to see like how all of these different mindsets, you know, like the greater the suffering, the greater the peace or what, and then like just how like you can get justified in thinking this way, and like he was truly like, just because those words were being spoken, he was like, yes, that's it, it is done, you know, the work has been done. And that's I mean, you know, my brain doesn't think this way, but if this manifesto were read on air, do you think, like, in the current state of the world, you know, if like the situation were to be correct in the news, like, do you, I don't know, I love you, I give us the benefit of the doubt now, but like, I do think there are a lot of people that would hear it.
Oh yeah, I don't think it would be a majority or anything. I think it would still be pretty fringe, but yeah, I have no doubt it would make, I think that there's a certain degree, I think believing in something like this before the fact is a lot more sinister than believing in it after the fact. Because after the fact, it could just be coping. It could just be like, this is the world that we live in, you know, like this is, I'm going to hop on board or else I'm going to get left behind, you know, like, so no, I don't think this ideology would have taken the world by storm or anything, but at least then there would be at least some sort of understanding as to why it occurred. It's not some, you know, it is a random tragedy, but at least to someone it wasn't, I guess.
And is it to be like believe that these apostles, or, you know, the other group that are doing this, are they just leftover like ghosts from the syndicate and stuff, or is this just kind of like a I didn't know if that was actually
and not
confirmed.
entirely. The apostles, I think the apostles were originally an offshoot of the syndicate, but like they have people in the CIA, which means that they can't be ghost agents, you know, like they can't be dead and gone to the world. Like they do have to exist somewhere. So I think no, go ahead.
Did Lane, like, I feel like there was part of me that like this was his plan all along, you know, like that, you know, from the very jump. And obviously, like last movie, they're not writing this one, you know, they didn't know the plot and everything of this one and everything. So like, but it does seem that like, I don't know, I thought that that's where they were trying to go with like the Ethan having the dream in the beginning, you know, where, I hate that. I hate that dream whenever it happens, whenever you just evaporate out of nowhere or whatever. But like, it was, I thought, you know, that line came back around, you know, it was, you know, like, you should have killed me, Ethan, in the same exact way that he said, you know. And then I feel like he had another dream as well later on in the movie, and something else came up. And I don't know, maybe I do like it that they do just kind of leave it there, and it's like, this is just, I don't know. We won't touch this. We won't say it's like, yes, Ethan won't you know, he doesn't even say anything of like, oh, I dreamed this moment. It's just like, this is just how he operates. Dude is just Agent Cooper, but in the field for real. You know, he's I don't know. I feel like this is Agent Cooper taken to the ultimate degree. If he just got some martial arts training and I don't know, just started doing some stunt shit. But yeah, I at least this lore, I don't know, all the things surrounding Ethan is just like, he just gets it done. It just has to go through him. I don't know. If it's going through him, the world will find a way. It's like the world just bends to Ethan.
I'll figure it out. I'm figuring it out. Yeah. So once you're on the helicopter, how do you intend on taking the detonator from him? If he's on another helicopter, how are you going to get... I'll figure it out. Yeah, it's so good.
I guess I'll get there. Oh, hey, Ethan, you want me to put on Lane's mask while there's many people out to kill him? And then, how are you going to save me and not have me killed?
Bro, when did they formulate that plan?
I know.
Is the whole conversation they're having there a sham to set up Walker? Like, I feel like it might be. It has to be.
Because they did set him up a little bit before this happened. Like, there's so much that kind of happened that, like, I don't know. I'm not struggling to really remember details, but it's like, I don't know.
No, there's a lot. It's a lot of movie. Yeah.
I feel like it is 2 movies ago, I said, oh my God, this is kind of, I can turn my brain off and it's just all action and I don't really have to figure anything out. I'm just watching a good action movie. And then last movie, I'm like, well, it might have gotten muddled a little bit and I might have been thinking a little too hard during the movie, whatever. This is kind of the perfect blend of them both. It's like, they have... Like, it's the same kind of villain, I guess, with some other people, I don't know. But it's like, so, it's this, chess match that's constantly evolving that is, you really have to keep up, like, I think, with pretty much every line of dialogue to kind of keep up with the movie in certain points. But, like, it's, I don't know, I didn't really find myself, I guess, in the same mindset as last movie. I was just kind of on board the whole time. I was just, I never was really thinking too far into the future, like I was kind of last movie. I was just kind of like, well, fuck, we are here. Yep, we will figure it out. Ethan just figure it out. So I don't know. I do like that. Like that's how I know that this movie is just, it kind of stands apart because it takes like every gripe I've had of every previous movie and like they've gone away and they just taken all the good parts and left them in. So it's I don't know. There's really not much to complain. Like I don't know.
No, I don't have a complaint about the movie, man. I don't. I genuinely don't have a hole to poke personally. I read some Letterboxd reviews last night and stuff and certain mutuals, and I went to their it's always interesting looking at the way rating systems work for everybody, obviously we're very, very loving critics, like we give everything pretty high ratings, as high as we possibly can, but I went to somebody's account and they'd only rated this 4 stars, or they'd only rated, I saw someone who'd rated it 3.5, I saw somebody who'd rated it 3, I saw somebody who'd rated it 4. I mean, my mutuals on Letterboxd, you can do like the friends rating. The average one is 4 across Letterboxd. The one of my friends is 4.5. So like my Letterboxd mutuals love this movie on the whole, which is what made those other ones stand out. And then I went to their accounts, and the one that rated it like 3 had like 1,000 3-star reviews, 400 4-star reviews, and like 6 5-star reviews. And I'm like, okay, yeah, see, you don't utilize the 5-star function at all. And whenever a movie's really good, you a movie has to be perfect for you to be like, I don't know. And that's fine, but like that always, it always recontextualizes things like Letterboxd for me, because people are all using a different scale, which is what's hard about that app, trying to figure out what an actual average is. That's why they have all these sorts of algorithms for different movies and trying to decide what's what. But
that's true. Yeah, the
so like
out of 10.
Because like my gut, whenever I saw like 3 stars, I was like, "Fuck you! There's no way you think that."
Crazy.
Like I'm like, "There's no way you think
10.
that." Yeah.
Like what? 60 a failure? Literally a failure? That is.
I was like, "There's no way you think that." And then I went to their review, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like it a lot." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
I mean, I wonder if that's like, if you just pull this movie out of nowhere, if you just watch this movie and you haven't gotten the hype of all the previous ones, and everything.
I don't think it would be as good. I think that the reason, I think it's a quality movie and it's really well made, but I do think that the emotional resonance you get from the movie is the history. Which is what elevates it to a different place. Because on a literal filmmaking level, while a lot of what they're doing is technically more impressive just because the stunts are crazier, like the actual filming of Tom Cruise 3 feet away from a cameraman skydiving.
Oh, yeah. What's the conversation to start this? Who was the one who was like, all right, we're going to skydive for real. And also we're going to make it like super long and uncut for I don't know how long. I mean, there is a cut, I feel like, eventually whenever they slide into. How the fuck are they doing the shit in the air? Is it actually like I'd imagine the storm isn't
the storm
there.
Is not real.
Like, yeah. So I knew kind of that much, and I'm like, okay, so storm's not real, but like when they're just falling, when
and it's the city of France below them.
Yeah, it's like how else? I don't know. Like how kind of else do you do that? Like how much of that is not? How much of that is CGI versus actually real? Or do you know the breakdown of that? Or
Well, I've got a pretty extensive. It's like the first thing on the IMDb trivia, and I looked into it because I was very. The one that intrigued me more, just because, and we'll get back to this eventually, but just the one that I looked into more was him climbing a rope on a helicopter in the middle of. That is more insane to me than the skydiving. People skydive, you know. Like that's a thing. People don't climb up ropes that are hanging from helicopters that are flying in the air.
The bro trusts his grip strength. He is like I feel like, is this just a way for him to show off a little bit?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is it like I feel like, I don't know. It's for one, it makes kind of just perfect action. Like how could you make a more perfect situation of a guy that is like actually willing to risk his life for just a movie, but that character in the movie is risking his, like that is also what he's doing. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like they're not even filming the movie, that they're just like, it's more of a documentary on like, hey, just look how cool this actor is, you know, and what he's willing to do for movies. I feel like that's like, whenever Tom Cruise dies, or like, I don't know, looking like in 200 years, looking back on this guy, they're just going to be like, oh, like, who do you compare him to? Like, who else in movies has really done what he's done? Like,
no, yeah, I mean, it's
Bruce Lee comes to mind, but it's like he's just a good fighter and a good action, you know. And
yeah,
like
I mean, like, and frankly, it might be dismissive, but legend-wise, Bruce Lee's closer to Chuck Norris than he is Tom Cruise. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the idea of them.
True. Yeah, that's
now. Chuck Norris didn't have anywhere near the actual talent Bruce Lee had. Don't get me wrong, but like in terms of reputation and movies they starred in, that's a little bit more, apt. And also, Bruce Lee was probably in better movies. But like, it's just there isn't really anyone who you can directly compare to Tom Cruise. That's why whenever people go at Glenn Powell and they're like, he's the next Tom Cruise. No, he's not. No, he's not.
He's got the acting ability, maybe, but I've never seen him quite do. No, I don't know.
The thing is that, like, let's see, how old's Glenn Powell?
I don't know. I've been shocked already by Kit Harington today.
1988. Okay, so he's about to turn 40.
Damn.
Yeah, 36, 37.
Crazy. How are people this old? Yeah, it's like they look so. I mean, they are Hollywood
Granted,
actors.
30s also isn't old.
True. I guess I just these people look so good and just so perfect that
they look so young. Yeah.
So
it's not that 30s isn't young; they just look younger than that somehow.
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise by age 36. Yeah. What is? Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. By 36, it would have been 1998. So he would have been filming Eyes Wide Shut with Stanley Kubrick. He was in Jerry Maguire. He was in Mission Impossible. He was in Interview with the Vampire. He was in A Few Good Men. He was in The Firm. He was in Days of Thunder, Born on the 4th of July, Rain Man, Cocktail, The Color of Money, Top Gun. Top Gun was when he was 20, by the way, or 24.
Jeez. That is
legend. Yeah. That's why I'm like, we're not quite there with Glenn Powell. We could get there. I just don't see it. And that's the thing, is that like I don't see it because I don't think it's possible.
It does feel like Tom is sort of taking him under his wing, though.
Oh, he absolutely is. He wants
maybe there is something. He could train him enough, get him field ready, you know.
Have you ever seen the picture of Tom Cruise flying a helicopter with Glenn Powell screaming in the backseat?
No.
Yeah, there's a story that Glenn Powell's told where Tom Cruise acted like he was crashing a helicopter with him in it.
Oh my God, oh my Lord, Glenn is so. I mean, obviously you would be. I guess I don't know, but wow, that is. I just see just the screenshot of just his scream.
Just a scream. Wow. But that's again the helicopters. He's actually doing all of his own helicopter flying.
What?
But I did want to take it back for a moment to the skydiving halo stunt because it is really impressive. It was not shot over Paris because of strict aviation laws in France.
Oh, I guess, yeah, true. Oh, I guess, duh. You can't do that.
It could only be shot in the Emirates. So, like, they did actually go somewhere and jump out of a plane and actually film it. But they did have to composite in the Paris nightlight.
That's fair. That is fair. Oh, wow. So there's an actual uncut, like a version of this that is just
there's a version of this,
and, or just like landscape.
The version you need to watch is the version with the other guy who's skydiving, filming both the cameraman and Tom Cruise.
They have a BTS skydiver too.
Yes, they have a BTS.
Lord.
Now, what I need is the other guy who filmed both of those guys.
Yeah, and then there's a guy on the ground with a telescope.
Yeah, just waiting.
Just tracking him the whole way down.
And that's what's incredible about like picking a shot from this movie, because I don't think it's strictly the best looking in the franchise. I don't think it's better looking than Mission Impossible, but it is the best looking since. Oh yeah, and I mean, Mission Impossible is a high bar to clear as far as a good-looking movie. Brian De Palma has an insane visual sensibility. But like the shot of him jumping out of that plane and just the camera being right below him and then flying past him, like, that is so fucking cool no matter how you slice it. Like, just knowing that they actually had a motherfucker skydive with a camera. I don't know, like that's insane to me. And then some of the ones where he is on a rope on a helicopter blow my mind too. I think those are gorgeous.
He always seems this seems to be a common trend where he gets to the very top of a very hard climb, falls down a solid 30 feet, has to do it again.
They actually, and he's not free. He was not actually free climbing the rope either, which is something that I discovered. He did have a couple. He did have a couple straps, straps that held him. But he did actually have to rely on those straps to save him whenever he falls down the rope, and that's a real thing they did. They didn't. That's not like he was on the rope on the helicopter that high in the air, and he fell down it.
Dude, I mean, what? He is, I don't know. I feel like there's just something
great fourth
else.
Wall break with Rebecca Ferguson and Simon Pegg there. Whenever she's like, "What is he doing?" He's like, "I find it best not to look."
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what he's doing? They just know that I don't know. Some guy took off, and luckily there's two helicopters.
Dude, can you imagine being in a helicopter, flying comfortably, and then all of a sudden a dude appears in the fucking door? Yeah. Like, I love the way they treat that moment when the guy's like, "What the fuck?
Wait, how did you... Dude. Wait, you're here? Wait, you're gonna fight me? Oh, wait a minute." Yeah, he's like, "Oh, shit!" Yeah, it was, I don't know, I'm glad it wasn't just a quick, him throwing him out
you would be fucking bewildered, dude.
He's like, how did you... In what world? Yeah, because it was so long after the takeoff that, he had to have been like, wait, so, I mean... I wonder just what's running through that guy's head. But,
dude, it's too good. Hold this for me, will you?
Oh, my God. Pull up. He's like, I'm trying. He's like, talking to just call, I don't know. They always, you can fly a helicopter? I wonder if this is has he actually flown a helicopter before? I mean, he's Ethan Hunt, he's gotten around. I feel like this
I don't know. He was looking at the controls of the helicopter, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, power. Payload, so it is funny. Obviously, this dude is a pilot.
Yeah,
but I mean, it was real. He's flying through canyons and valleys, and Tom Cruise again, also actually doing that.
That's the dude is just actually a pilot. Yeah, it's surprisingly. I guess I've been told by one of my teachers that once the aircraft is in the air, it is surprisingly easy to fly. He said it is kind of like playing a video game. It really is just crashing or landing that you have to taking off is the really hard part that is
well, yeah, and he's doing shit like nose diving though and stuff. Those parts I'm like, you're telling me Tom Cruise is doing the flying here? I don't know that I buy that. You're just letting him dive a helicopter at the ground. Like, you let him do a lot of shit, but there has to be
a Top Gun. He did jets, and I feel like this is like...
he sat in the back of jets while somebody else flew.
Yeah, I guess true. But like, in the headcanon,
right.
It's like he's good. This is actually...
Well, I'm sure if you ask Tom Cruise, he's actually flown the jets too.
That
like,
oh my God.
I feel like there's a certain... I almost feel like he would convince himself that he's done things he hasn't done. Like, almost like, yeah, that sounds like something I would do,
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe I did that at some point.
In the way he says, like, yeah, if you ever hear anything about Lane that makes your skin crawl, it's probably true. It's like, well, if you ever heard anything just remotely, I don't know, that has my name in it and stunt
it's probably
is attached,
real.
Yeah, it probably did.
Probably happened.
I mean, and he can really kind of say that, though. I mean, it's...
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, but to I don't know. That's on my bucket list, is to hop in one of those jets. I want to go faster than the speed of sound. I don't care how I accomplish it. I just want to do it. I guess, yeah, I don't know. I know I'm never going to be in control of a jet. Those things are way too expensive and a lot of training to go through there. I don't know. And I'm not really the military type, I don't think. But man, just to go that fast, to do things just like this would be incredible. That's why I kept kept texting you like, man, I'm in the wrong business. Like, this is the dream job, is just to convince people to fund enough money to film something really, really cool, and it actually is really good, and it will make a lot of money. But then on top of it, you get paid the most out of anybody in the movie too. You're the reason everyone's coming to the movie in the first place as well, and you just get to do all the cool shit you want to do. Like, I wonder how much of the writing room is Tom Cruise just being like,
a lot.
Yeah.
There was a story recently. I mean, relatively recently, that like him and Christopher McQuarrie workshop everything together. Like, there's not an idea that gets into a Mission Impossible movie that was not ran past Tom Cruise. Okay, these are his movies. That is a guarantee. If something's happening in these movies, he has the final okay. Mostly, I'm sure there have been points where that's not the case, but it's generally understood at this point. Maybe not early on, but now it's like, yeah, these are yours. One of my favorite stories is that Christopher McQuarrie told how they decided on what his hair would look like in the 8th movie. Because he's got a slightly different hairstyle in every movie, and they're meticulous about that. Like, they're going for something. They want to capture a certain vibe. That's how they do it, Okay. But he was like, the story he told was, I was we'd been trying to come up with the hairstyle. We were trying to find do we want to go back to, like, sort of the long hair like he had in 2 or something like that. What do we want to do? How do we want to style it? And I was downstairs making breakfast, and Tom came down the stairs with, like, bedhead, and we were like, yep, that's the one. And I was like, hold on. Wait. Don't skirt past that. Don't skirt
Tom
past.
Came downstairs with
don't skirt. Yeah, don't skirt past that. Wait, you were making breakfast and Tom Cruise came downstairs.
Wait. Yeah, what's the situation here?
Wait, hold on. What's going on? Yeah.
What happened the night before?
What's going on here? Yeah, no, and they were roommates. Okay, Tom. No, I mean, like, purely speculative. But they do everything together. Remember when he was at the Olympics? Christopher McQuarrie was always right there. Whenever he was at Wimbledon every week, Christopher McQuarrie was right there.
Little Wes and Ed Norton kind of, maybe.
Yeah, there's a little,
or kind of, I don't know, something.
Approximation. Yeah.
Something's going on there. But no, I don't like. On the sheet, I think you summed it up well. Is like, I don't know what scene to go with. Like, I have no idea how to,
because there are so many that I love for vastly different reasons, which doesn't really happen much in Mission Impossible movies. Usually I like a lot of scenes for roughly the same reason. I'm like, man, that was really cool. They did something really good there, and but like, they do so many different things in this. Like, I'm tempted to go with the first 45 seconds as my favorite scene because I don't know that there is a single other movie that has ever hooked me that quickly the way that this one does. And again, it is because of history, you know, like this is the first movie that really embraces its franchise-ness, and does it justice, you know. Sometimes that can go poorly, and it just did not here. But yeah, that build up, the callback to 3, with Michelle Monaghan back as Julia, and them getting married, and Tom Cruise's performance, Sean Harris's voice, the visuals, the hapless sort of blank slate that Julia is. Whenever he's like, "Do you take her? Do you take him?" And he goes, "Say no." You know, say no.
Yeah, no, stop this. Like, stop.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It's one of Tom Cruise's best moments. It's great. It's great just to provide context for, you know, why he wouldn't go with Rebecca Ferguson last movie. You know, like he won't let himself get attached to anybody because they'll be put in danger.
And that clarification with Luther, like
dude.
whenever he tells everybody, like, yeah, that's why, you know, like, or he tells Ilsa, like, he tells Ilsa. That's why oh my God, I was like, oh my Lord, like, it's just the, you know, Peter Parker and MJ, or like, it is just a superhero thing, but I don't know why when put in this context, it hits so much better than like,
because it's because Luther isn't talking from an outside perspective. Whenever he goes, we're in this situation because Ethan wouldn't let me die. You know what I'm saying? Man. Like, and he's got tears in his eyes. Great Ving Rhames moment, dude, by the way. Like, we're in this situation because Ethan wouldn't let me die, you know? And I just want you to know that he'll do that for you too. You know, like, we are better off if, you know, like, it's strong, man. It's so good. And
that's the whole idea, or like the end monologue of like, we need those people who will die for one and not millions, you know. So I know,
who wouldn't trade the life of one for millions, you know,
oh man, and it's like, I feel like it's this weird, like, I've come to the point of like, no one philosophy or no one outlook is right. It is the amalgamation of them all that makes it kind of right. And it's like, if in theory, if everyone was like an Ethan Hunt, if every single person on planet Earth was looking out for just their friends and the people they cared about the most, then, you know, I mean, I feel like the world would be a pretty good place.
Like, yeah.
No way everyone is going to be like Ethan Hunt. I don't know. It's like
not possible.
But I don't. It's this the hope. You know, it's like how can you I forget who says it. It might be Ilsa, or maybe it's even the broker, or was it Max's daughter?
Yeah,
actually, the white. Yeah, that was like sick. To be like
played by Vanessa Kirby, who is fucking awesome. She is. She was Josephine in the Napoleon film with Joaquin Phoenix. And she's going to be she's going to be Invisible Woman in Fantastic Four.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, that was cool. I don't know. Cool to just have the Max through line and just be like, yeah, we'll I don't know. We'll pay homage to an old character. But then I think it's her that says like, how can you, or maybe it's not. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense for it to be her. But like, how can you use hope as like a strategy, or how can you rely on hope? And someone's like, oh, you must be new here. I think it was Luther. Or someone says like, must be new here. So it's I don't know. I love it's like Star Wars in the sense that it's like David versus Goliath, or just kind of insurmountable odds, and just hoping that it's gonna be okay. I don't know, just fighting the good fight, but it's in it's in our world. It's in more of a, I don't know, just grasp. I can grasp this a lot easier than I can Star Wars. Even though it's still spies and, you know, all crazy espionage and stuff that I've never dealt with, you know, or I don't know.
The characters are really down to earth, which is what makes it so compelling, you know? I think that another one of my favorite just little moments is another Luther one. I love Luther in this movie. This is kind of the movie I had. This and Seven are kind of what I have in mind whenever I've been talking about how great Luther is and stuff, and just kind of how much he loves Ethan and everything. But whenever the shootout goes down in the tunnels, the second time they've got Lark, the lights go down, and then Lark's guys reveal themselves, and they have that whole shootout. Whenever Lark comes up on, or Walker comes up on Ving Rhames and like holds him hostage, essentially, the second he gets taken at gunpoint, he goes, Ethan! Like, because Ethan's there, like, there's no one else you'd rather be able to call out. Like, the second he's able to, Ethan, like, the second he's taken hostage, Ethan. I don't know. It always hits for me. Just that, like, he knows that if he calls out to his boy Ethan, shit'll probably be okay.
Whose better hands can you be in? You know? Whose life would you rather put your hands in? You know? I mean, I'd trust Ethan Hunt. You know, even if he told me, I'd figure it out. You know, if I'm like, okay, I don't know. I feel like
I've seen the movies. I've seen the movies. You do it.
I'd kind of be like Benji and be like, okay, well, let's make sure that I'm going to be good. You know, I'd really want to make sure first, but no, at the end of the day, I'd be trusting.
God, I love Simon Pegg, by the way. I do. I think him as Benji was just a masterstroke. And frankly, to bring, like, this is a direct sequel to 3. 3, 5, and 6 are a trilogy of movies. Which is kind of insane, you know, like, just beginning to end that journey with Julia specifically, because Simon Pegg is the one who leads Tom Cruise to Michelle Monaghan over the intercom, you know, like whenever she's been taken hostage and stuff, they have their little reunion. She meets Ilsa. She meets, she has that history with Luther that they imply, but they never actually showed. So it's not like you're missing anything there. You know, like, I taught her how to be a ghost, and it's so good. I love it. And the chemistry they have, the way that they all look at her and kind of go, oh God, like, the way they all know what this means for Ethan. That's why I think my actual favorite scene is when they run into her in Kashmir at the camp. That moment whenever she's like, Ethan? And he turns around and he's just dumbstruck, and then specifically Luther, Benji, and Ilsa all stopping dead in their tracks, and Ilsa going, "Is that?" And Benji going, "Yep." Yeah, and they're all just kind of, oh, it's so good. Like, and then when the husband comes over and he's like, and they do the whole, you know, does he know? And no, and he's like, hey, doctor, whatever. And she's like, he's here on vacation. He goes, no, I'm working. And like the lingering tension whenever he's like, I'm working. Dude, it's so good. It is so bad. And then the hug, I'm sorry, and then just the sprint away. It's so good, dude. I love that scene. It's just it's so perfectly performed. It's so perfectly written, I think. I adore it. And
good old Doyle from Interstellar.
Yes, it is.
The husband who doesn't know. Henry Cavill lookalike. I feel like, oh man.
Yeah.
Now I got the frog in my throat here, but no, yeah, I don't know why. I've always just thought he was like the off-brand Henry Cavill, just looks-wise. Nothing against Wes Bentley, you know. I feel like
no. I mean, he's just he's a similar-looking white boy. Yeah, for sure.
But man, but then like Julia coming in and then like helping with the bombing at first. They're like, are you crazy? Are you letting her? And he's like, guys,
what else is she going to do?
You know. Yeah, it's like, mind your own business, like fucking chill out. I know what I'm doing, and it's like,
it's so sweet, man. And the idea that Luther and Julia have this friendship, especially after Luther in 3 was the one who was like, you can't marry her, da, 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 da. You know, like it's just really fulfilling. And I think that this is, like I said, the first one that takes advantage of the franchisee nature. 4 did a little bit, you know. 4 kind of did with the pull through of Julia and her being kind of a centerpiece of Jeremy Renner's storyline and stuff. But it wasn't the same. You know, this is like, we're bringing out all the stops, and it almost feels like it feels like they were like, let's do this one last time a little bit, if it's the last time. You know, because we've got probably the best mask reveal in the movies, I think, with Solomon Lane being Benji.
Yep.
I think that's when, you know, he's like, Sloan was right. The IMF is nothing but a bunch of grown men playing Halloween wearing, and then the musical Sting masks. Oh, it's so good. I love it.
It got me. I didn't know.
Probably I didn't know it the first time either.
Yeah.
We get the best Tom Cruise running. Across
Oh,
Paris
yes.
rooftops. We
Oh,
get
just
Tom.
let him sprint. Yeah,
Let him
I
sprint
love
across
that.
an entire building, just on the top of one. Just go. We've got Mission Impossible's version of the Viggo Mortensen broke his toe during this scene story. I can tell you this one now. When he jumps across buildings, and the one he like struggles on, that he doesn't quite make it. He like snapped a part of his leg when he did that.
I think yeah. Oh wow, I think I might have in some random
You've definitely seen it. You've heard of it because
Wow,
that's this franchise's version of that.
God, that's oh man, that's kind of. I wondered if that like stopped like did they have
It
to?
did. It paused filming for a period of time.
Yeah, that's like that's kind of. They have to really make sure Tom is safe because it's like, if even just an ankle snap or like something, then it's like, well, we're paused for a couple weeks or like I don't know. It's like we can't do what we want to do, with that's man. The
he was
insurance that he must.
He did
have.
get up and tried to run, which is what you see. They kept the take.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that now. Now
whenever he gets on top of the building and like limps away, that's why. And it paused filming for 8 weeks.
8? Well, oh damn. Okay.
Yeah,
wow,
so it was a couple months delay.
Holy shit. Wow.
To this day, Cruise still refers to this stunt as the easiest of all he's had to do for any film.
I guess
the one where he snapped his ankle, which is hilarious.
I guess it is just jump. That's crazy that I'm saying it just is jumping across like a building, like just a gap, bridging the gap. That's nuts, But for him, it is just jumping across a building. I don't know, and that's probably what was in his head. He's like, "Oh, I'm just jumping across a building. I'm not doing anything tough." And then, oh fuck, I'm not quite making it. Or was that like the point not to make it, and then he had to climb up, or like did he not make it in real life, and that's how they decided to keep it in the movie?
I think the point was for him not to make it. I do believe like it was supposed to be just like the chase is it's hard. This is a wider gap. He doesn't quite make it, And then I think he just happened to snap his ankle when that happened. But he had to do over 100 jumps because he actually does save a person in the skydiving sequence, like, I mean, obviously the person's safe. It's not like that person was actually passed out or anything. But
wow,
do you know how hard it is to direct yourself while you're in free fall?
Yeah, going what fucking I don't even know how. Yeah, what is a human
9 point something meters per second?
It's stupid. That is stupid. Yeah, 120 miles per hour, 100 or 180 tops. Yeah, what the hell? You're going as fast as a NASCAR. You're going NASCAR speeds.
That's just diving down. So whenever he like pencils and directs himself, that's something he's actually doing, which according to skydiving instructors takes like 1,000 jumps to perfect, and he did it in about 100.
That's just dumb. Yeah, I've heard that every time like you skydive or whatever, like sometimes it dislocates people's shoulders completely because they just fly back so fast and people aren't ready for like, I don't know, to hold that down. And it's like to think about just holding your arm straight like that, going against 180 mile an hour. Yeah, that's like, I don't know. It is insane. And I don't know. I can't wait one day. It's on the bucket list, I guess. But I don't know. That maybe I haven't quite just tried to get it on the schedule because it is, man, one little wrong, the parachute doesn't come out right, or it's like I don't know. That's oh fuck. But no, he just is this. How many times did they jump out of that? Was this a one and done? Did they get it done like in the first time they shot it, or did he have to jump multiple times out of the plane and do it?
I mean,
over
I don't.
and over?
It says I think they took 3 takes, is what it says. Like, I don't know how to. I don't know how to parse this information. It says, okay, because of strict air aviation regulations in France, it could only be shot in the Emirates. It took Tom Cruise, Henry Cavill, the skydiving camera operator, and others involved a total of 106 jumps to get 3 possible takes.
106 jumps.
Yeah.
106 jumps.
To get 3 takes. So like they were imperfect, and they were like, well, that one's not even usable.
So they're not filming Wait, they filmed?
Yeah, they filmed 106 jumps, and only 3. I the way I read that is that to get 3 possible takes means that they had 3 takes that they were like, I guess this could be in the movie.
Wow, they're not saying that like he trained 100 something, 103 times, and they filmed for 3, or I mean, I wonder how many he just did in training. But was this how he trained? Did he do this specific jump, or did he just learn to kind of control shit somewhere else? Yeah, that is, I don't know. The planning, just the planning to go into all of this, honestly, it's an impressive logistics problem just to be like, all right, we have all of these stunts now. Just what order do we do them in? It's like, do you save the most dangerous ones for last because you don't want to run the risk of, I don't know, Tom getting hurt and having other ones not being able to film? But then, even a simple jumping across the roof.
This was the last sequence filmed in the film.
That
the
makes
skydiving.
Sense. Yeah.
It was the last. It was also, the practice was intense. Crews and other persons involved did 5 skydives a day. 1 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 1 at dusk. Some of the cast members turned up to watch, and Simon Pegg said that he and his co-stars thought multiple times that Cruise was seriously going to die. It is a daily stress going to work with him because you do not know if you are going to see him tomorrow.
Oh my God. I mean, it's like, he is just already, it's crazy to say that a living person is like a legend already, or to kind of put a person on a pedestal like this, but
right,
because I don't know, I feel like obsessing over celebrities or whatever is just kind of weird, but this is, I don't know, I feel like this isn't just a movie star. This is someone, he's a little different.
No, it is. It's absolutely different. Here's another one for you. So the part when he's driving through Paris on a motorcycle without a helmet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, he's just doing that.
That's good. The Paris chase scene involved stuntmen in 70 cars driving to avoid Tom Cruise, who was riding his motorcycle against traffic without a helmet at extremely high speeds.
Oh my God, they controlled every car.
Yeah.
But
the more impressive thing is that they're not CGI cars.
He is actually
driving in between cars. Yeah.
But it takes one fucking, I don't know, just one guy goes the wrong way one time, and then boom, you're off your bike going 50 feet in the air. I guess he does crash at the end in the movie. He does crash, but it's. Oh man, yeah, this dude has no fear.
Do you remember that turn with Solomon Lane whenever he he has to turn right, so he spins all the way left because it would stop him quicker? He does a full fucking 180. Actually did that. It's a real thing he did in the streets of Paris.
Oh my God. Oh my God!
What the fuck, man?
Who picked the small car? Yeah, who was the small car your idea? And I was just oh, this is definitely going to be going fast here eventually. I'm like, how are they really going to have everyone in here? Is this going to be a clown car kind of chase? Is what I was thinking. And then whenever it got real, and he's like, all right, everyone out. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm like, because they love their BMWs. I guess I wonder how much BMW pays. I don't know. Probably, or if they have steep. I don't know, a contract with them or something. I don't know, because I feel like I've only seen BMW cars every time. It was the futuristic. They went back. We had the mega futuristic car last movie, but now we just we're with, I don't know, not that it's bad. Not that it's bad to go back. It was very satisfying to watch this thing whip around France. I don't know. It was, and yeah. Thankfully, I can tell where I am. It's crazy that the Vatican was in a previous movie, but I couldn't really tell I was in the Vatican. But here I'm like, oh my God, there's the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, you are in Paris, dude.
Beautiful. Yeah,
this
the
is
landscape. Oh.
Now, let me ask you this. Action movies set in Paris.
Oh yeah.
John Wick 4 and Mission Impossible Fallout. Mission Impossible Fallout.
Man.
These are, to me, the 2 best action films of the last, 10 years. Strictly action. There's a lot of Mad Max Fury Road. That's an action movie, but it's also there's something more going on there. It's not just an action movie, When it comes to pure fucking action movies, are there any two better action movies in the last, maybe the 21st century than John Wick 4 and Mission Impossible Fallout?
Depends on who, like RRR is the only one to pop in my mind, but that's also there's a lot more going on with that one. I can't think of anything else. This is that was what I was thinking is like in Paris, like even I feel like where the final shootout is in John Wick, like those tiles or I don't know wherever that is that just kind of in front of the Eiffel Tower? I don't know what you call that area, I guess, or wherever that is.
Yeah, where they set up the where they do the card flipping thing, like the high draw to decide who decides weapons and stuff. Where did they film?
Yeah, wherever
the card draw,
the courtyard of like the Eiffel Tower.
No, it's a little too far away.
It's not too close. It's like, but it feels like there's an important building there. Like there's a building that actually is, and it's the area around that. But I have no clue what that building is, I guess. But no,
I feel like I'm showing my uncultured ass here, because it is something.
And it's probably, I don't know, it's probably so known, or it's probably like just the it's the art museum, or it's I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But as far as I don't know. Is it a coincidence that both happen to be in Paris? I don't know. It's like both of these goated action movies just happen to spend a little time with the Eiffel Tower near and the Ark. The John Wick 4, don't they do a literal
Now that is not actually at the Arc de Triomphe in John Wick 4. It is actually at the Arc de Triomphe in Mission Impossible Fallout, which is just kind of the difference between Tom Cruise money and Keanu Reeves money.
That's true. That was CGI, I guess, in John Wick. Crazy that was CGI, I guess, that it did look
they did an incredible job there.
There's a little different. I don't know. It's different whenever it is the real deal going at it. And I love when he gets cornered on if there's a police car coming down, he's like, well, gotta keep going. I don't know. It's just even action for just action's sake. Usually I don't know. It's like, whatever. But everything's written in this for, it's like, well, no, he's like, I don't know. It's like, this is just what we are doing now. He's like, this is what Ethan has to do. It feels like there's never okay, they're just kind of doing this for gratuity or just to kind of show off. But in John Wick, they definitely do. That's kind of more the point, is all right, we're going to be gratuitous for the next 5 minutes straight and let you just sit back and enjoy. But this one is kind of it's we'll do it a little bit, but the stakes are so high that I don't know, it feels natural that we're doing these things. And that is a strange, I don't know, it is strange because John Wick sort of makes it feel like those things should be natural, but it feels way more real or natural in this franchise versus John Wick.
Well, and I do think that something like John Wick is meant to be a little bit more heightened in terms of almost fantastical. There's a weird element to it where it is almost supposed to feel unreal. Because I also, while I think this is a generally better movie than John Wick 4, I don't think it holds a candle to it visually. I think that visually John Wick 4 is one of the best looking blockbusters I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that, I don't know if this, maybe that is the only gripe I could say, is that this movie, it does look great and it is crisp, clean. Some of the shots are unbelievable that I'm looking at and the technicality to go into it, but it's not arts, it's not artsy.
I think that the color correction saves it a lot of the time. Now there are some wonderfully composed shots. I love the one where Rebecca Ferguson's on the motorcycle driving through the pillars, and it's all flying by her and stuff. That shit's gorgeous. There are really, really genuinely good shots, but there's some stuff in the mundane moments that I enjoy the aesthetic of what I'm looking at, not so much the composition of what I'm looking at. I'm there's really warm orangish, reddish hues on pinkish hues on everything, and during the day, and then at night it's real blue and stuff like that. Like it's a good combo. I love the club sequence. There's a shot whenever he's in his dream where he's like blurred out and he walks into focus with the light shimmering around and everything. Like there are really, really good looking parts of the movie, but that's one of, like, we're comparing it to a similar movie in John Wick 4, where genuinely you could tell the focus of that film was making it as good looking as possible as often as you can. Now, obviously, they're not jumping out of a plane. But here's the other thing. Jumping out of the plane might be one of the best looking sequences in the movie. Like it is a genuinely really gorgeous sequence. So I don't know. Like there's a lot to weigh there.
Yeah, I don't know, colors, like I'm looking just kind of through shots, and like, the Paris, every time like the Eiffel Tower is kind of in the back, or like the meeting with I guess Walker, or
Walker and
Larkin.
That's the location I was talking about. I cannot figure out where that is.
That meeting, like the ground is wet. You see like the reflection of the sky.
The
it's
tile.
like it's so I don't know. Like whenever that was nice. The whenever Ethan kind of has Ilsa follow her for a little bit, and he leads her into that like courtyard with all the trees that are all lined up, and they walk,
gorgeous.
into that. That was nice. Let's see. I mean, even like the end where the helicopters end up, and then like he's rock climbing again. I feel like that was a callback. To what was that 2 that he's rock climbing? Just free climbing, kind of in like, I don't know, wherever he is.
I also want to correct myself. I said that John Wick 4 didn't actually shoot at the Arc de Triomphe. They did. They just didn't. The cars were what were fake.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Just no real danger, I guess, in there. But the, I guess, location still stands, which is good. But yeah, no, it is kind of, John Wick is, I guess, you never have the suspicion of like, oh, well, obviously they're doing this for real because they're mass murdering people all the time. It's like, okay, well, obviously this can't be real. But like in Mission Impossible, you're always asking yourself, you're like, oh, wait a minute, did they actually do that? You're like, and then most of the time it's like, yes, they actually did. And it's like it's in, obviously there's some things that have to be CGI or I don't know, like you can't put people in true harm, deathly situations. But Tom, I don't know, seems to blur that line a whole lot. And yeah, I guess I was trying to look for a specific shot to choose, but again, I think it's kind of like the scene. I don't know. I'm saying that it's not a pretty movie, or I think it could be improved, but there are just so many shots that are just like, I don't know which one is the most impressive to me. There was no one specific standout either, really, I don't think, but it's just a kind of like the scene.
It's just a gorgeous movie.
I
found the location. I'm sorry, I've been looking so hard for it.
Is it a building?
It's the Place du Trocadero. Trocadero. Trocadero.
I would never have gotten that in a million
years. I don't feel as ashamed of myself as I did previously.
I feel like that's not as well known. I don't know. I feel like this is the first time I've seen that name. So I don't. Maybe it is really well known, and that's showing my American brain even more.
Actually, I think this is the Palais.
Just Palais. That's just it. It just goes by
Palais, maybe. No. This is just near there.
Man, it's just like France is just. This is just an area in France. It's like I feel like there's everywhere it just looks this good. Like why don't we? I don't know. I feel like in America you can't really point to an area that looks this.
No.
No. Anything remotely this close.
And I think that kind of comes from the age of our country in terms of the colonial settlement.
Enough. Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think, France is just a lot older and has a lot more genuine culture than modern America does.
Fair. Yeah, we don't. We like to think we have culture.
We're real cookie cutter.
Concrete. You're a fucking concrete building.
Steel. American steel.
I guess it makes sense why they travel the world during the Mission Impossible movies instead of, Yeah, just kind
No,
of.
there's not a single one set in America.
Yeah, and if it's America, it's getting nuked. It's like that's the only way America.
The
pops
first
up
one
is
was like,
if
we're
it's
going to Langley.
Okay, yeah,
and
fair.
that was
That's
that.
true. Yeah, it's like, all right, we'll go to just a cool build, just the most impossible thing to break in. We'll just
3
give
was
them
like
hard
a hospital in America, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
No,
anywhere
yeah.
else in
The
world,
only
though.
the only place you're ever going to get anything even remotely close is New York City. Which is what makes it the greatest city in the United States of America. It is far and away the most interesting place we have.
One
And
that's been cooking for the longest.
Yeah,
the
city
biggest
pride
city. Yeah,
be
it was.
damned. Like there is something just really, really fascinating about New York City, regardless of where you're from. I do think that is just, they like to call themselves the greatest city in the world, and I wouldn't go that far, but it's probably the greatest city in the United States.
We going there next movie at all? Is there any in America? Or are we out?
Dead
out
Reckoning. Dead Reckoning. I feel like is Italy. I think there's a lot of Italy.
Okay. That'll be.
But
nice.
not Vatican. Maybe not Italy. I feel like there's maybe not all Italy, but there's a little Italy.
The Vatican not actually blown up. I thought it was off the table at the beginning. The
Vatican,
beginning of the movie.
Vatican fair game.
But-
We already have been to the Vatican though. Like you said.
That's true.
We went there in 3. Yeah, they don't do a lot of rehashing of what they've done before in terms of literal location. We do. There's a great airport sequence in Dead Reckoning that I love.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I know that's coming is the bike jump off the cliff.
And I mean, like that's a really, really impressive and crazy stunt. Don't get me wrong. I was kind of surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised. If you're going to market a Mission Impossible movie, you market the big stunt. Like that makes sense. But I always thought it doesn't suck the air out of that moment, but there is kind of this element where you're like, I know he does this.
That's
true. Like, when is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just kind of how I felt about it. But like, you also like, how are you not going to market it as the one where Tom Cruise rides a bike off a cliff? Like that's how you write. That's how you market it.
That's the easiest
so, like,
word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey,
that's where I'm like,
rides a bike off
I
a
can't
cliff.
blame them one bit. They're not going for shock value there. It's more the fact that he did it at all that's shocking. We'll get to that too.
Wondering, as far as openings go, though, I don't know. I was trying to think of the rest. If this is because I texted you, I'm like, there's no way. Like, this doesn't hold a candle to any other opening. But I feel like the prison break sequence, wherever he's breaking out of prison, is that 5 or is that 4?
Yeah, that's 5.
Is that Ghost Protocol? That's 5. Okay, so yeah, that was last. That one was okay, I guess. That one does come close. I feel like that, like all the openings, like I don't know. I feel like
all the openings
all
are good. There's a certain classicness to the opening of the first Mission Impossible. Like I love that opening sequence where the entire mission falls apart and everyone dies, and like that's like the music that probably has the best music of any sequence in the franchise. Also, so like there is something very, very special about that. But I do think. When do you consider the beginning to have ended?
Yeah, probably just whenever they get to the medical camp. Like, I feel like just whenever they get there is kind of whenever everything starts to slow down. Let's see, is there anything before then? I feel like I texted you at a moment in which it finally slowed down, and I was like, and then it was, let's see, when is this? Yeah, it's crazy how much we do text.
Yeah.
To scroll back when I thought it would be like just a little.
That's the thing is we talk about a couple things. So like we'll have multiple conversations going on. Like we had one about Mission Impossible. We had Star Wars celebrations going on.
True.
Little timeline break there.
Man, yeah.
Disrupting the illusion of the podcast.
But I feel like it is whenever the bombs, I don't know, it's kind of, they're at the final location, and it's kind of all going down. But I don't know why. It feels like just barely early. There's a moment where Luther is talking to someone, and it was
probably
kind
Ilsa?
of... Maybe it's that. Maybe it is whenever Luther is telling him, like, why he had to split and why they didn't feel safe together. And I feel like maybe it's kind of then that it slowed down. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is really all gas, you know. I think that I was operating under the like first couple scenes is what we were talking about, like the opening of the movie.
Oh, when does the
beginning end, you know, like when you're talking about the best beginning of the franchise. When does that sequence end?
I see. I feel like it's just whenever this one is I guess this one has multiple.
This one has like 3. So like that's why I'm kind of like, does it end after the reveal?
Sequence?
Yeah. Like because the build up, like if you want to go from the beginning to the title sequence, there's no doubt that this is the best one, because I mean, there's simply so much of it.
That's fair. Kind of an unfair fight.
But it's a fantastic setup. That's the thing, is that they all operate as setup. It's not like it's not like the previous movies couldn't have done something like this. They very well could have.
Yeah. And this runtime just being longer than the rest too, like it just leads for maybe a longer opening,
and
or
also
more setup
doesn't feel like it at all, dude. Like I was watching this last night. I pressed play. I was like, I might fall asleep. I might have to finish it in the morning. And then like the movie was over, and I was like, yeah, never mind, man. Fuck that.
I'm wired. I am glued. I was a tent. It was. I don't know. I just got done with a long ass day of homework too. It was like 11. I don't know. Pretty late whenever I even started it. And but no, I was never out of it during 1 second. It was. I don't know. I'm glad that this. I don't know. I've only watched one movie in between all the other Mission Impossibles. It was Fantastic Mr. Fox. But I've really just ran through the franchise straight, and man, like it does feel like this was like kind of the point.
Oh, it's different, man. It is. For me, what's crazy is that like the only competition it has for me is the first one. And even then that's out of a loyalty to the first one, you know, like that's, I love that movie. But there's just, a feeling this one gives me that I can't really equate to any of the other ones in the franchise. So it is my favorite. It is my favorite of the franchise.
Just has everything.
The one that I have the most interesting, like, I don't really, I know I like it, but I don't know how much I like it, is the next one. Dead Reckoning. I know I like it. I know I love it. But I've never felt confident whenever I throw it on an MI ranking with the placement it gets. I never know exactly where that's supposed to be. So I'm excited to get to it.
I guess how much of it is like a Spider-Verse kind of problem of a part 1 and part 2? Like, does the
it's
ending...
not. That's kind of why I thought the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse was even worse, was because I was like, I've seen part 1 movies that do this. This was one of the ones that I was thinking of. Like, there's obviously more to do, you know, but for what we don't leave this story with nothing but a third act left. You know, and that's what I feel like happened with Across the Spider-Verse. I feel like I don't know how you get a whole other movie out of what's left in that story. That's really my only issue there. And I'm sure they'll figure it out. I'm sure I'll be blown away. I didn't really want to make everybody go, wait, you don't like Across the Spider-Verse? No, I like Across the Spider-Verse. It's very good. But regardless, Dead Reckoning comes to a very satisfying conclusion. It's just obvious. It's the first one. It's also the first movie in the franchise where you go, oh, we're not done here. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said previously, almost every single Mission Impossible movie could be the last one. You know,
this one,
Dead Reckoning is the only one that absolutely cannot be the last one. You know, there's obviously more to do, but as far as what the mission was, it's completed. That mission. For what we need, it is over. It's either successful or it's failed, but it's over. That mission.
I see. Okay. Yeah, and part 1 was in the title, like, on release, right?
Yes.
Like,
and when we watch the movie, the title sequence will say Dead Reckoning Part 1. But there will not be a Dead Reckoning Part 2 anymore.
Yeah, that's awkward. So have they, like, retroactively taken the part 1 off? Or, like, do they still leave? It's like, is it,
well,
like...
you can't do... I think once the fucking edit's out, it's done. Like, that is permanently in the movie. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, if you go on IMDb, like, just online, is it still...
I think it's... I don't think it's part 1 anymore. I think that the official title is now... Like, it would be, like, originally released as Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's... I don't know. But funny that they're...
Oh, no, it's still in there as Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I wonder what made them just go, like... with the name. Why not just go with part 2? Why go with like
it was a financial failure. Didn't do well at the box office. But that's the thing, is that it was never going to do quote unquote well at the box office. It was a COVID production that cost nearly $300 million to make because of paying everybody through the pandemic.
I see.
So, like, people were like, it barely made any money. Well, there's like $100 million of the budget dedicated to keeping the production alive. Like, it's kind of unfair. So, like, I think that it was kind of like just the general perception of it. The part 1, part 2 thing is also generally, I think, dumb. I don't think anybody should do part 1, part 2 unless it is the first part, like the first movie. You know, doing a part 1, part 2 this late feels bozo to me.
It feels like you're milking it, or I don't know. It's like, just don't even tell me you're making another movie and just make the other one. I don't know. Like, make me think
that's how I feel about it too.
End, or,
I agree. So. That's why, like, like Dune doing it, fine. You know, like that's cool, because Dune is also, like, there's books. I know there's going to be more. There is what it is. You know, Wicked is slated as a part 1. It's not in the official title. That's kind of a reveal when you get into the theater, and that's like, shit, cool, you know. So like it is funny to have marketed it as Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then whenever like later on be like, never mind.
Actually, going curveball. Yeah, we'll switch it up. But
yeah, you'll be pleased with 7. I have no doubt that one's got Haley Atwell. That's Agent Carter, and all that good stuff. Okay. Rebecca Ferguson back, Simon Pegg back, Ving Rhames back. We get Palm Clementif. Mantis is in it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a good time. I'm trying to think of. Vanessa Kirby is in it at some point. The woman who plays the White Widow here. Of course, Alec Baldwin isn't in it. Got stabbed.
Sherlock's brother in the Netflix with Benedict Cumberbatch. Wow, interesting. Mark Gatiss. I don't know.
Mark Gatiss, yeah.
NSA. He is the NSA. What does that even mean?
He's probably in the NSA. Yeah. There's a sequence you'll see. There's a sequence. He's not in the movie very much, but I do now recall where he's. Henry Czerny's back for the first time since the first movie. Kittredge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's an AI villain too. We're going more sci-fi than we've ever gone. So
that's right. I forgot about that.
It's gonna be. It's Tom Cruise hates AI, which is great, you know, for movies. In general.
He's not letting his likeness go anywhere ever.
Never,
I swear to God. Yeah, if he dies and they try to attempt something, I hope that the people or his family or something is in place.
Oh, I mean, he'd be the first person to find a way to come back.
He's like, all right, you know what? No, I will come back from the dead.
Bro,
to
Zombie Cruise.
Yep.
Zombie Cruise. Tomby Cruise.
Yep. That's his true Scientology. That's why he's in there. He's trying to find the way to resurrect.
That's what he's figuring out. That's what he's figuring out in there.
Yeah, but no, this...
Have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Hopefully we don't have the fault. You know, hopefully he just stays cool. I would really hate if something comes out one day and he.
I won't speculate. I can't imagine we've got a dude like this who's been this famous this long with this much money and this it's just
true.
There's no
the fact that he probably
no
hasn't
way.
done anything. Yeah, it's like he probably has done something. You know?
Oh
like,
yeah,
there
it's
probably
just,
is something, and it's
just and like I don't know what that is. I won't speculate as to what it is. I'm gonna appreciate Tom Cruise while I can appreciate Tom Cruise because what he's doing is really really cool, and maybe one day I'll feel differently, but right now I do not.
Yeah, and it is a weird thing because I used to be like, well, even if a person goes down a really wrong path, but their art is still really good, then I can still appreciate the art. But like I used to say that about Kanye, but now it's just like
there comes a line though, you know, it really is a moral. Like I'm never gonna watch any new Harry Potter shit. I'm never gonna. I haven't rewatched Harry Potter since J.K. Rowling's been a fucking disaster. I haven't done anything with Harry Potter. Like I was never that big of a Harry Potter fan anyway. It's not like it was a giant loss to me, but like every once in a while, like I'll be like, oh, maybe I should rewatch the Harry Potter movies, and then I'm like, ugh, no.
If you've seen Star Wars, you've seen Harry Potter. I don't know. It is. It's pretty similar.
Fair.
So yeah, you're not really missing out on too much, and it was much better as a kid. So yeah.
No, that's why I'm like there's a line for everybody, and
yeah, Tom, just don't let it come out. You know, keep it hidden. Whatever the fuck you've done, dude. Just
ignorance is bliss, brother.
Please.
I like not knowing.
But yeah, I don't know. We talked about Henry Cavill a little bit, and like this is like I don't know. This was a surprising role to see him in. I knew he did the arm reload, but I didn't know he would actually be kind of on the antagonist or like on the villain.
Yeah. That is one of the more cool. fun parts of the movie as well. It is one of the only role, in my opinion, that sees through Henry Cavill's aura and gets to the essence of him. I don't know what it is. This is kind of on the flip side of Tom Cruise, where I'm like, I don't know why I don't love Henry Cavill. There's just something about him that makes me feel iffy. I'm like, I don't know what it is about you, brother. There's something not right here, and I don't know what it is. I'm not going to speculate. But I think there's probably an amalgamation of just little things over the years that like I've heard that I'm like, no, you know, he dated Gina Carano for an extended period of time. The chick who got written off of Mandalorian. That's
I didn't know that.
That's a rough one. That's guilty by association isn't good there.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Because I've only known him as this nerd who plays video games, who is
likes
like
Warhammer
and Superman and D&D. Dude is like super. I don't know into shit. But it does. Now that you're like saying this, is like. Maybe he's trying. I don't know. Is he covering something up? You know,
I don't know. And that's the thing. I'm not going to speculate anything. I could relay you the facts that have made me feel iffy about him, and like they're not incriminating in and of themselves, but they make me feel icky. One, that he dated Gina Carano, which is just if there's a compatibility there, it's not. I don't love that. And then two, he said something about the Me Too movement that was kind of like he was afraid of like talking to women and stuff because of being like, and it's like, okay, like that's why are you afraid of that, man? That's a weird thing to be afraid of, or to even go out of your way to say you're afraid of. You know, I don't like that.
That is an interesting take to have on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying. I'll look up the specific quote because I don't want to. Mistakenly Cavill Me Too.
But man, yeah, I think it is just like he's such a specimen of a human, like just to like how he's sexy, he is beautiful, he's big, he is, I don't know, everything.
I mean, he is a crazy body, crazy body. Yeah, okay. The thing he said is that he's scared to date women for being quote called a rapist. Well,
if you're not. You shouldn't really have anything to worry about.
He actually said that during the during the press rollout for Fallout.
Wow, that's he was playing the villain. I mean, yeah, maybe he's getting into character a little bit.
Yeah, in the piece, Cavill said that the movement He said that the movement had scared him away from chasing and wooing women and left him paranoid that because he's in the public eye, he's, quote, going to be called a rapist or something. He immediately, he said, he immediately apologized. This was like within days of that. He said, insensitivity was absolutely not my intention. In light of this, I would just like to clarify and confirm to all that I have always and will continue to hold women in the highest regard, no matter the type of relationship, whether it be friendship, professional, or significant other. Never would I intend to disrespect in any way, shape, or form. This experience has taught me a valuable lesson as to the context and nuance of editorial liberties. I look forward to clarifying my position in the future toward a subject that is so vitally important and which I wholeheartedly support.
Bro,
it's very,
that's
very.
His team doing that.
I mean, that's a very PR.
On,
that's
man.
a very, very PR answer. Yeah, no, that's why I'm.
Like,
Gina Carano?
Kidding me, man. That's that's the woman you hold in the highest. No, I don't know.
No.
I'm
right.
But like that's the one you hold up to the pedestal. I don't know.
Funny. That's funny.
That is.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm like. So those like I'm like. There's nothing that is incriminating in and of itself that makes, but like those things just don't add up well to me.
Yeah, it did. At least, I will say that fight scene in the bathroom, knowing the Army Lud was coming, I was like, I don't know how I haven't seen the rest of that. That was like, oh my God, that was brutal.
Yeah.
That
took weeks to film. To film.
Oh my Lord.
They also had the amount of hiatuses on this film. I think it was like 5 or something. They took like 5 hiatuses. By the end of filming, Rebecca Ferguson was 7 months pregnant.
Was she pregnant during the beginning of? Did they take longer than like? Was she pregnant she wasn't pregnant at the beginning of filming, and then she was.
I believe that to be the case.
Wow.
Here this film. This is kind of a by the numbers. Had 3,000 setups. So 3,000 times they had to set up.
Okay.
Which is a lot of times. 13 helicopters.
Okay. Yeah.
6 pregnancies, all different women, 5 hiatuses, 4 weeks of aerial photography. So photography from the air, 4 weeks of it.
Jeez.
3 continents.
Okay, yeah.
2 winters.
Oh my Lord. Okay, yeah.
And 1 broken ankle, which is that's a lot.
6
that's a lot.
Children. 6 children, 6 lives. And that's, I don't know, that's crazy. And 4 weeks of air, does that mean like runtime? Total runtime? Or like
probably 4 weeks spent shooting. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say, I mean, I believe either one, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by either.
But man, yeah, it feels, there is a different, I don't know. Like, it feels kind of like when people come to a West movie, they understand it's like there's a different feeling in the air. It's like, oh, I get to work on a West movie, or like but it's Tom. It's like I am coming into a Mission Impossible movie. I have it's an opportunity. I don't know.
The thing that I love, I watched Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz just a couple nights ago, and then I watched the Simon Pegg comedies. We talked about them recently because like on the press rollout for Shaun of the Dead, he's like, it's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3 or anything. And he ended up being in Mission Impossible 3. It's outstanding that he's in these movies, dude. The fact that he is, I mean, a brilliant actor, doesn't get nearly enough of the respect he deserves or anything. But the fact that he got Mission Impossible 3 because he was good in Shaun of the Dead, which is an outrageously funny comedy, and is now doing, staged fights against Sean Harris with Rebecca Ferguson in a different room and like getting hanged by a rope and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's the idea that Simon Pegg gets to act across from Tom Cruise really, really just tickles me. I love that. And
layers of Inyon, it's like a Inyon thing. If he would have never done, I don't know, Shaun of the Dead, he never would have gotten that opportunity. Never would have been an MI7, MI8, I thought he was going here multiple times. The putting the mask on for for Lane. I thought, man, he might get shot here, or like
Right.
because he even said something of like, I just got a bad feeling about this one, and I was like, fuck, why did you say? I'm like, why did you actually bring it up? I'm like, that's a movie way of saying like I might be leaving.
I'm going to
soon.
die.
And it's like, yeah, so I didn't like it, and I don't know. I was really worried for him this movie, which glad he did make it out.
I think that, and that's what makes these later movies so compelling. Whenever you've got Julia on the line, when you've got Benji on the line, Luther on the line, Ilsa on the line, it's what makes it all the more real, because Tom Cruise is willing to, or Ethan Hunt is willing to do whatever to save the world, but whenever he's willing to do whatever to save his friends while they try to save the world, it really hits. It really hits. It's
I forgot we did have a death.
We did have a death. Alec Baldwin went down. Mr. Secretary went down.
Man, that at least he got his moment. He's like, I see why you guys love this, and he's like, and they're like, welcome to the team. So
there was such a cornball little moment. I loved it. The little. It's good to have you, sir. Welcome to the team. Yeah, and they're all pointing their guns at him and everything. It's so funny. Another one that I think is so funny and just a cornball way, similar to the mission accomplished thing, is whenever he realizes he could drop the payload on them.
Power.
Yes.
Yeah, why is that the word he says? Because he was checking the controls.
Because he was checking the controls, and he was like, "Okay, power." So like
he's like power's in his hands, I guess. It's like the power.
It made me giggle, man. It made me laugh out loud. Power. Yeah. It's funny.
My line, which I thought was I thought yours is actually a great line.
Yeah.
That I don't know, but whenever it came, they cut the wire. They're like, "Fuck, let's go on 2," and it's like, "Oh well, do we want to cut it that whatever?" But they cut on 1. They gotta trust Ethan, and Luther just hitting him with a my man, and that's that. I feel like that can only mean one thing, but they had to say, they had to replace. You can't say that. That I don't know. I feel like there is a cut somewhere,
right?
Where, like a slapstick version of like Mission Impossible is like. I feel like there probably is something.
Yeah, like an exploitation film version of Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
I need the scare, like how Scary Movie, like just a parody. I just need a parody version of Mission Impossible, and just to bring the comedy to maximum instead of the action and the espionage. But yeah, it was. I mean. Perfect again that they're all in separate places, but they all have to trust each other, and they all have to it's like it's always written in just such a beautiful way where it's all these everyone has each other's lives in it's this constant web of back and forth. They're all trusting each other, and it's just I don't know. It's
great. We do get another. He looks at Luther and Benji and goes, I need you to trust me. I love whenever Ethan Hunt says, I need you to trust me. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff, baby. There's a lot of great lines in this movie, too, by the way. And I found that the hope is not a strategy line was actually by Cavill. Henry Cavill says it. And Ilsa is the one who responds and says, you must be new.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
I also love the way she really joins the fucking crew in this movie, by the way. The way she's down to ride for Benji and Luther, like they're her homies too. Fucking dope. Love it. Yep. Whenever Tom Cruise reveals to them that Ilsa's here, and they're like, Ilsa, our Ilsa, the one, like, what the fuck is she doing here? It's too good. Another one that I love is whenever Solomon Lane says, the end you've always feared is coming, and the blood will be on your hands. The fallout of your good intentions.
Yeah. Oh
Probably, and that's an all-time title drop right there. The fallout of your good intentions is such a, because we're dealing with nuclear bombs, you think that's what it is, and then the fallout of your good intentions just hits. Also, really tickled by the fact that the plutonium cores literally fall out.
Yep, and Benji the catch that he just boom palms that thing. I thought he was gonna give it a kiss. I thought he was gonna be like, oh, like I've never thought that this plutonium core would be a good sight to see, but now it like no. In this case, it's very nice to hold that thing. Yeah, it's like, oh my lord, I would like.
How close were we? The usual.
1 second, dude. Yeah, that is oh my god. And is this like I hate whenever in movies they put in like major things that could happen to actually do so much damage to the earth, like the destroying of the seawalls in like New York, and like just becoming an idea in the Batman. I'm like, damn, I really kind of wish that wasn't in the movie, like to give someone that fucked up idea.
Don't
is
irradiating this
this water, is that true? Is that like if this water
that's a real
word to be? Oh, dude, that's like, I don't know. I don't like that they kind of threw that detail in there. It's like,
like I don't like that.
Yeah, it's like that because I mean, damn, that like India, China, and like Saudi. That is literally
Pakistan,
a third like of the world. I don't know. That's so much of the world.
A third of the world's population, they say, which is crazy.
But
no, it's. I also love, whenever Julia and Luther are trying to defuse a bomb, and. She's like, so how is he? And he goes, same old Ethan. And then they smash cut to him getting shot at in a helicopter. It's too good. I love it. I mean, and it really is Julia's presence at the end of this movie that just, does a whole other number on me. When he wakes up and he's like, are you okay? Oh, fuck, man. Fuck.
Yep. He's all scratched up to hell, can't, whatever, and it's just instantaneously. Yeah, I'm crying. This is
fucked me.
I don't know
he's just so fucking good, dude. I've never cried. I'd never cried in a Mission Impossible movie, except for like a brief tear up with the end of MI4 because of the Julia stuff. But I love the way these movies have expanded on that relationship, because there's not much in 3 that makes you attached to them. It's what these movies do that make you go, oh, Ethan loves her,
Yeah, oh my god.
But like the husband being like, your friend found you and she brought half the Indian army with her. So see ya, Doc,
Doc,
and I like the way he looks at his wife and is like, go ahead. Clearly something more is going on here. And the way he's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, and she's like, what the fuck, man? What do you have to be sorry for? And he's like, I'm sorry for everything. Then she says, and I'm gonna read the whole thing because it's all good. All good, look at me, look at my life. I love what I do, and I never would have found this if I hadn't met you. Everything that happened, it taught me who I am, it showed me what I'm capable of, and I'm a survivor. And Ethan says, but what happened here, it was and Julia says, nothing happened here. Because you were here, and I sleep soundly at night knowing you always will be. And I just fucking lose it there, man. I lose it.
Come on, dude. It's like on paper, it is, I guess, maybe like it is like the superhero corny thing of just like, no, we can't be together because you're in danger. But no, here it is in such a context where I don't know, it's not corny whatsoever. It is just, this is real. And I don't know, maybe I just corny is just actually good is what I'm getting down to. It's like you only call it corny because you're not like, I don't know, it's not brave enough, that's the wrong word, but it's like people just don't want to accept
vulnerability is a very different
but no, here it's even the interaction he has with Ilsa afterwards. He like asks if she's okay. He looks at like her, see if she's wounded up first, and it's like I don't know, and just
dude, the softness they display between one another is so good. I also love. I want to know what Ilsa whispered to Julia there. I want to know what the I like the sequence whenever Julia says something kind of smart assy, and she goes, I like her. Like that whole thing. Like it's good. And I like the passing of the torch a little bit that occurs in that moment. Whenever it's almost like it's okay to move on type of way. I mean, when they see each other you were talking about earlier, when they walk into the garden and they're surrounded by the trees, when they approach each other, you almost feel like it's like slow motion running towards each other and they're going to embrace or something.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, there's just such like they are such hard people. So when they display this softness with one another, it's really, really endearing. I love it.
Oh, and like whenever that random cop or whatever sees them about to put Lane in the car, and Ethan like is like, just please walk away,
Yeah.
you know, and then he has to actually comfort her and be like,
dude,
it's, everything's
like,
okay.
I'm so
he even,
sorry.
Like, he puts his hand on her fucking face and like her, like literally, like I don't know, and then like just shows her that like no, like in that one interaction, she had to have been like, oh, he's actually a good person.
He's the good guy.
Like yeah,
I shouldn't have done this. I should have walked away.
Oh my god,
dude, and the way he was like, the response to defend innocence in that moment by being like, okay, well, this could fuck up everything, but this girl's life's at stake. You know, this woman's life is at stake.
Verse 1. Obviously much better that these, you know, goons die, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's, I don't know. It's always I don't know, the moral dilemma, but it's clear. He makes the right decision in every one of them. I don't know. He's done, even when he has to shoot Luther a couple times, you know. But Luther's like instantly like, "No, we're good, man. Like
we're chilling.
I thought
I'm
I should
alive.
have been dead.
Yeah.
He's like, so yeah, it's.
I should be dead.
Know.
We should all be dead.
Yeah.
Why aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah. Then and then smash.
Real
cut
reckless
to,
with all this plutonium.
Man. Yeah. That's and you know that's all it takes is just a hunk of a certain type of metal, and then you one little. I mean, it is a very complicated device. I don't want to dumb down a nuke, but it's crazy that it's crazy that if you just have enough of this material, that is like all the bomb part has actually been figured out a long time ago. It is just getting this specific metal to blow up in a certain way, and it's just getting it is the hard part. But yeah, it's like I don't know. If I was Benji, it's like I don't think it's good to have plutonium on your bed, you know, your bedside table, and like to keep that next to your head while you sleep. But like I don't know, I would be attached to this thing. I would be like, oh my god, like this metal ball could have turned into a star and evaporated me instantly. But I held it in my hands a second after it. You know, I don't know. It was oh my lord.
Yeah,
but,
no, that's why like just and that flash to white is such a dirty fucking trick there.
Yeah, I did not appreciate that. But then the fade, and then it's the actual sun. I was like, okay, actually cool. I'm like, actually cool.
And
like,
he's got the fucking key in his mouth, and he spits it. So fucking cold, so cold. Oh, I love it. Yeah, there's just so much to like here, man. And I think that I do think you'll enjoy 7 a great deal. But I personally do believe, and I think you'll find as well, that we've reached the peak of the franchise. And amongst the peak, like one of my favorite franchise films ever, like any franchise, you know,
it's and John Wick 4, like as the best action, like the best of each of the franchises is like, I don't know, these two are insane, and I'm just pissed that it's MI6. Of course, it has to be British intelligence, you know. The Brits won this one. They won this battle.
Won this one. They literally got to say MI6 at some point, which was funny.
Yeah, fuck, but that's okay. I don't know. I'm so glad I finally am getting around to this franchise, and even more glad that I got here to this one.
Dude.
Because
I can't wait. And 7's the only one I've seen in theaters, which is why I'm so excited for us to go sit down and see the Final Reckoning on straight up opening night. You know, Thursday night ahead of, you know, like I'm ready for that, because there is. You mentioned earlier when people go into whenever people are working on a West movie, when people are working on a Mission Impossible movie, there's a different feeling. When you're going to see one, you know, that's a special feeling. That's
wait,
a special
how have I
feeling.
not like thought about this yet? Yeah, that's actually like, oh my, I'm gonna see this on the big screen for the first time.
Yeah, you were going to be watching a Mission Impossible movie in the theater, in IMAX probably. So I'm very ready for that.
Oh damn!
But yeah, we only got a couple weeks now as far as the release of this podcast, so we are almost there. But yeah, so I'm gonna do the plugs, and then we can rate this movie. So if you would leave a 5-star rate and review and download wherever you might be listening. You can subscribe on YouTube. Look up The Cinementalists as it is spelt here. We are currently also doing Fire Pod with me, a Twin Peaks podcast, and that is going very well. We're digging into season 2 quite a bit right now. If you've never seen Twin Peaks, it's a good show for you. If you have seen Twin Peaks, it's a good show for you. So, friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike, you do obviously have to have seen the episode we are discussing. That should go without saying, but some people, you never know what they might get up to. It's a lot of fun doing that. You should check that out. We're in the midst of Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast's coverage of Andor, also probably pretty close to winding to a close at this point.
Next week,
maybe halfway through.
The end.
Yeah. Okay. Next week will be the end.
Yeah.
We'll be covering the last 3 episodes of that in a week. We have hopefully the episode on the next 3 out later today. So yeah, Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast, Fire Pod with me, and the Cinementalists, and we'll be back next week with Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then in 2 weeks we'll be here with the Final Reckoning Part None.
Yeah, Part. We
forgot.
We forgot what we were doing.
But yeah. So let's rate Mission Impossible Fallout on a scale of 1 to 10. This joins the rarefied tier for me of 10s.
It does. Yeah, this one it's up there. This is if I'm gonna watch one movie and only one movie, I feel bad for saying it. I feel it's just more of a nostalgia. I feel like I am already nostalgic for Mission Impossible 1, or like it is just like the time that it came out that I like of that movie. But no, I'm watching this one over any of the others, and yeah, it's an easy 10 for me as well. It was an easy 5 on the Letterboxd. Only 1 and 6 have a 5 for me on Letterboxd.
Me too.
So yeah, I had 4. My previous 4 watched was 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, and I went back to retroactively give 1 the 5, but I accidentally gave 4 the 5 because I thought it was 1 in my recent activity, but it was the wrong movie. So then I had to. I realized my mistake later on. But
you fucked up brutally.
Now now my Letterboxd actually reads correct, or it should.
It is reflecting accurate. Yeah. You can follow both of us on Letterboxd, by the way. I'm at Colton Robertson. I make all sorts of lists and I review every movie I watch and all that good stuff.
Your Letterboxd, yeah. Follow Colton. Like, actually, like me, I only log my movies, and really, I don't know. I don't do much. I don't do as much as I should.
I make lists all the time. I love lists. I've got more lists than anyone you know. I almost guarantee it. But no. I mean, is this the first 10 since Fellowship?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Scrolling back up. The Holdovers was also kind of just perfect Christmas movie. I don't know, just as a tradition goes. But then Fellowship would be the only one after that.
So this is the first 10 of 2025. Of note.
Yeah, this is true. Looper, close. That's another 5-star on Letterboxd. More of like one of my favorite time travel movies. That's why I got the 5 there. Is that I thought I was just really creative there. But yeah, no, this is as far as just any action movie goes. It's this and John Wick 4 and RRR but like it's crazy that I don't know. It's a crazy 3, right there. So
yeah, no, it's I'm a sucker for it, man. This is one of my faves, but yeah, I think getting it a perfect score on the Cinementialometer, we'll go ahead and call it a day for this. Like I said, we'll be back next week with Dead Reckoning Part 1, and we'll be back in 2 weeks for the Final Reckoning. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, what's done is done when we say it's done.